tlong re phamisetseng dipina tsa rona ho Jehova le mohoa ya rona nyakallo ho lefika la poloko ya rona. Re itlhahiseng ho yena ka dithoko, re utlwahatse ditlatse tsa rona ka difela pela hae. Hobane Jehova ke Modimo moholo, ke Morena moholo ya fetang medimo yohle. Ke le amohele batswadi ba ka tshebeletsong ena kajeno. Ke le amohele bana beso moreneng, bitsong le letle la Morena le Mopholosi wa rona, e leng Jesu Kriste. Welcome to the service, a service where we thank God for the gift of life, a service where we also thank God for our fathers in our midst, and wishing our fathers a happy Father's Day today. As we start the service, re tla bina hammoho difileng tsa rona tsa Sexhosa, hymn 289, Thixo Ova isikhungo. Re tla bina hammoho. A re rapeleng. Re a o leboha Modimo o motle. Re a o leboha senatla sa lehodimo. Re a o leboha monghadi ha wena o dumetse tsatsing la kajeno hore le rona re le bone tsatsi lena Modimo mo halalelang. Monga Sabatha re ntse re le teng mona lefatsheng. E seng ka o tseba ha rona Modimo motle, e seng ka bohlale ba rona, empa ka baka la lerato la hao le mohau wa hao. Re dumelle Kriste hallang hore senga kajeno ha re tlatla nakong ena re tlisa tlhompho le thoriso ho wena Modimo motle. Re utlwe boteng ba hao o le haufi le rona. E re Modimo motle ha re tlisa mehoa ya rona ya thabo, ha re tla ho wena re tlisa dithapelo tsa rona re kopa wena Modimo halelang o seke wa re kgesa, o seke wa re tlosa pela hao, empa o re amohele jwale ka bana ba hao Modimo halalelang, bara le barati ba hao ba ratuweng ke wena. Re a tseba Modimo hallang hore a teng dinako mo re fapuileng teng, re kgeluileng, ra lahlehelwa ke ditsela tsa hao jwale ka dinku tse lahlehileng, empa ka nako ena Modimo ra o rapela o re hauhele rona ba etsa dibe ba hlomohileng, o re atumetse boteng ba hao Modimo hallang, o re tshwarele dibe tsa rona, o re hlatswe, o re hlakudisise Modimo motle. Kena le rona tshebeletsong ena, re hlonolofatse Modimo motle, ra o rapela, ne re rapella le lefatshe la rona le setjhaba sa rona Modimo during this dark time, mo re bona Modimo ho bolawa ha batho ba basadi, bana le ho betwa ha bonkgono ba rona le bana ba rona. Empa ka nako ena Modimo hallang ra o rapela that even in this dark time, may we see your light, Lord God, may you hear your word of truth, your word of comfort during this time. But we also pray for our fathers, Modimo hallang, on this Father's Day. Hore ka nako ena Modimo hallang ho tlo phahame hara bona Modimo banna ba tla emelang lentswe la hao le nnete ya hao lefatsheng Modimo. Bontate ba tla re Modimo halalelang ha re ba bona Modimo, re utlwe re na le the protection that we need in our lives. Re bone Modimo ha lona ka bona Modimo hore ka nnete tshepo e teng, maybe the role models that we need in our time, role models that our brothers need in our time. Be with us then, Lord God, in the service. Re utlwe boteng ba hao le mantswe a hao Modimo a kgothatso, le mantswe a hao Modimo a re nehang the challenge of how to live as Christians during this time. We thank you and we bless you hobane ha o ne mong ya tshwanang le wena. Me rapela tsohle tsena bitso le letle la morena le mopholosi wa rona Jesu Kriste ya re rutileng ka nako tsohle hore ha re le mmoho re rapele re re
Sorry. Ilizwi lethu lanamhlanje siza kulifumana kwincwadi yeGenesis, isahluko ngesamashumi 21. Zawuqala ukufunda kumqolo wesibhozo ndiyoqhina kumqolo wama-21. Genesis 21 verse 8 to 21. Isihloko ndaba sithi ukugxothwa kukaHagare noIshmayeli. Ifundeka ngolu hlobo. Wakhula umntwana, walunyulwa. U-Abraham wenza isidlo esikhulu mhlana walunyulwayo u-Isaka. USara wambona unyana kaHagare umyibhutazana amzalela u-Abraham ehlekisa. Wathi ku-Abraham, mxothe umkhonzazana nonyana wakhe, kuba unyana walomkhonzazana akayi kulidla ilifa ndawonye nonyana wam u-Isaka. Lalibi kunene elo lizwi emehlweni ka-Abraham ngenxa yonyana wakhe. Wathi uThixo ku-Abraham, malingabi libi emehlweni akho ngenxa yenkwenkwe nangenxa yomkhonzazana wakho. Entweni yonke ayithethileyo uSara kuwe, phulaphula ilizwi lakhe ngokuba iya kuba ngo-Isaka lo imbewu kuwe. Kananjalo unyana womkhonzazana ndiyakumenza uhlanga ngokuba eyimbewu yakho. Wavuka kusasa u-Abraham wathabatha isonka nentsuba yamanzi. Wanika uHagare ebeka emagxeni akhe nenkwenkwe wamdulula. Wemka ke wandwendwela entlango yaseBersheba. Aphela amanzi entsubeni. Wayiphosa inkwenkwe phantsi kwetyholo. Waya wahlala phantsi malunga nayo umgama ongangowokutola ngotolo kuba wathi, mandingakuboni ukufa kwenkwenkwe. Wahlala phantsi malunga nayo ke, waphakamisa ilizwi lakhe walila. Waliva uThixo ilizwi lenkwenkwe. Samemeza isithunywa sikaThixo kuHagare sisemazulwini sathi kuye, unantoni na Hagare? Musa ukoyika, ngokuba uThixo ulivile ilizwi lenkwenkwe apho ikhona. Suka ume, uyithabathe inkwenkwe, uyibambe ngesandla, kuba ndiyakuyenza uhlanga olukhulu. uThixo wawavula amehlo akhe, wabona iqula lamanzi. Waya wayizalisa intsuba ngamanzi, wayiseza inkwenkwe. uThixo waba nenkwenkwe leyo, yakhula, yahlala entlango, yaba yintoli yakukhula, yahlala entlango yasePernam. Unina wayithabathela umfazi ezweni laseYiphutha. Eli lilizwi lenkosi. Yanga inkosi ingakusikelela ukufunda kwelizwi layo ngoku de ibe kunaphakade. Amen.
akanaka sangano dzvene rakasarudzwa naMwari. Masoko edu tichawana kubva kuna Matthew chapter 10 verse 24 kusvika pa33. Pa24, mudzidzi haangakundi mudzidzisi wake kana muranda ishe wake. Zvakaringana kuti mudzidzi ave somudzidzisi wake nomuranda ave sashe wake. Zvavakaidza mwene weimba Bhezebhuri vachadaro zvikuru seveimba yake. Naizvozvo musavatya, nokuti hakuna chinhu chakafukidzwa chisingazozarurirwi kana chakavanzika chisingazonzwiki. Zvandinokuudzai murima, taurai pachena. Zvamunonzwa munzeve, paridzirai pamusoro pedzimba. Musatya vanouraya muviri, asi vasingagoni kuuraya mweya. Zvikuru mutye uyo unogona kuuraya zvose mweya nomuviri mugehena. Ko, shiri duku mbiri hadzingatengeswi nehafu yepeni here? Asi imwe yazvo haingawiri pasi kunze kwaBaba venyu. Kana muri imwi, nevhudzi romusoro wenyu rakaverengwa rose. Naizvozvo musatya, nokuti munopfuura shiri duku zhinji. Mumwe nomumwe uchandipupurira pamberi pavanhu, neni ndichamupupurira pamberi paBaba vangu vari kudenga. Pa33, asi mumwe nomumwe unondiramba pamberi pavanhu, neni ndichamuramba pamberi paBaba vangu vari kudenga. Iri izwi raMwari, tigamuchire tose nhasi nokusingaperi. Amen.
Ke boele ke le dumedisa hape batswadi ba ka, ke le dumedisa bitsong le letle la Morena le Mopholosi wa rona Jesu Kriste. Re kena tshebeletsong ena ka jeno ka tlasa theme e reng facing our wilderness moments with courage. Do not be afraid. Trust in God who sees and hears. Ho tobana le maemo a rona a lefelleng ka tshepo le tumelo le sebete, mme re sa tshabe, re tshepa hore Modimo wa rona ke Modimo a bonang le a utlwang. And we find this message from the book of Genesis chapter 21. Mo re bolellwang teng about a great father that we know, Abraham. And the story is quite interesting that on this Father's Day, we speak about a moment where the family relations are broken. And there's a wilderness moment for one of the family members. And this is quite interesting because we find ourselves on this Father's Day having to celebrate our fathers under a dark cloud. Mo maemo e kareng a ba lefifi, ka baka la ho bolawa le ho lematswa ha basadi le bana matsohong a bontate kapa balekane ba bona kapa bana ba bona ba bashimanyane. And but right now, I ask us for a moment to also see this text of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar as a moment where we see God arenea mulaitso mucha, where we need to face with courage. Rebele sebeti sa ho tobana le maema a lefellele re fumana re hara lona. Because I find that wilderness moments are not comfortable. Wilderness moments are where life is threatened. And we see life threatened. Bophelo ba mora Hagar iling Ishmael, iling yena mora wa Abraham hape. And if you read the story, you will know that Ishmael is a result of a plan. Ya Sarah. Sarah is the wife of Abraham. Hagar ineli emung wa basebeletsi wa bona kapa le khabunyane la Sarah. And she was a servant of the wife. And at the time, Sarah became impatient with God. And when God had promised her, Abraham will always be called blessed, because from him will rise a nation. And we see that Sarah becomes impatient. And in chapter 16, it is Sarah's plan that se Modimo a se tshepisitseng ekare ha se no etsahala, because a shebile how the location or the life circumstance of where they are does not match the ability for God's promise to be fulfilled. Ka ona le matsatsi mo Modimo a re neyang ditshepiso tsa hae, mo tshepiso tsa Modimo re ha re sheba maemo a maphelo a rona, kapa nako e re phelang ho yona re bone ekare ha e no etsahala seo Modimo a se tshepisitseng ha se no etsahala, and we become impatient. And in our impatience, we want to help God. And we see Sarah doing that. But Sarah does not understand that Mudimu waruna wa emelo. And allow me to say that some of our wilderness moments we find ourselves but in this case, Sarah's wilderness is not physical, because we see the emptiness of life in Sarah being in her heart. The way she treats Agari le Morahai Ishmael shows how her heart becomes hardened towards Hagari and the son. Because not only then does Hagari assume a higher role, Kabakala hu balimura elim wapili hu Abraham, and the times or the tradition kabametlo wana kweo 2 times than the ones batamulatelang. And I think Sarah looked at the situation and it was not comfortable. And we are told that Hagari herself was not innocent. In that between Hagari and Sarah, it was because Hagari herself started acting unwell towards Sarah. And she saw herself as above Sarah, and she went into the wilderness moment the first time. But allow me to say, we see women going through a wilderness moment as a result of a system that seems to be unfavorable towards them as women. And they become restless. And we see Sarah becoming desperate. But you see, the lesson we first learn about some of our wilderness moments is that there are times when we need to face our own mistakes and our own bad decisions, which lead us to moments of wilderness of both heart, mind, and soul. Because Sarah, in her impatience, later we get to learn Mudimu does not stop being faithful to her. And at an old age, she becomes pregnant. And Murawahaya ummitza Isaka, kapa Isaac. And in chapter 21, we see first Sarah's own wilderness of heart. Sarah becomes hardened towards the son, kapa Mura wa Hagari. Me harati, kamkhobaba patisanang baharing abana bahai. And the translations are different. Some translations say bane babapala as in a playful moment. Jwale kabana. But other translations dire Ishmaele unateisa kapa arumula Isaka, in a way then that caused Sarah to not be comfortable. But I wonder if it's not the case of Huhudisana, and I believe as Bana Harahola, there are moments where we play and we play with each other. But because Sarah knew the secret, a secret that the children may not have known, a family feud that existed before the children even understand, we see Sarah then projecting her jealousy, towards Isaka, Abraham atibele Hagare lengomrahai. And Abraham finds himself in a very tight space where he needs to make a decision. And we are told that God shows up and says to Abraham, Kinale, a plan and a purpose for these two, for Hagare le Morahai, Batlohelle Batsamai. And I think there's a lesson there for us, that there are moments where even when we have our own wilderness moments and we cause pain on others and send others out into the wilderness, God's love and mercy does not stop showing up in their lives too. Because when Sarah thinks, she will then have less pain and less jealousy in her space. But God then reminds Abraham that what Sarah is asking, maybe it is what she needs, but don't worry, I have a plan for Hagar. And in Hagari then going, we see Abraham showing love as a father towards the son. and his fatherhood being shown in a remarkable way through provision. Aneha ngwana hae mora hae le Hagare mmae metsi a ho nwa le dijo. But we are told that they ran out. Imagine a teenage boy going through the wilderness with their mother. And we see that Hagare is in pain. Kabaka la di decisions tsa Sarah and kabaka la ho tia ha pelo mahareng a hae le Sarah. But those wilderness moments have a sad way of affecting their sons. And I think maybe one of the lessons we need to learn as a nation today is that some of the wilderness spaces we see ourselves in, wilderness spaces, lefeleng, mo re tsamayang teng, and our youth have to face these wilderness moments, it's just because of decisions that were made generations before, and they were not kept checked, and they were not stopped. And we see now that those decisions, they don't affect them, only the parents, but they also affect the children. But we see God in those wilderness moments speaking to Hagare, but also maybe speaking to us today. That even when we find ourselves really failing, even in moments of hopelessness, even in moments where and sometimes it is not just the femicide in our time, but sometimes it may be just who felt like it's hair maybe through the lockdown, the decisions that we made. Where are you? Why me? Why now? And God responds and speaks to Hagare and sends an angel. And then we see that Hagare's pain, and at the time we see her hide, and she just sits at the right distance, but it's far enough for her not to hear when the son cries, but God hears. When we face our wilderness moments, I believe it is a moment where our fear becomes us a moment where we face everything and rise, rather than flee everything and run. Because we see the angel of God going to Agar. A call for Hagare hore abone situation ya hae, a seke a baleha mora wa hae, empa abone seo se leng pela hae. Empa mantswe a ke bonang e le mantswe a tshepiso kapa mantswe a where we find comfort in our wilderness as we face our wilderness, not to flee but to face every situation and rise from it. We see the angel saying, Sithabi, do not fear, do not be afraid. Tepa. And I believe that when we are called, the instruction is the same instruction that Jesus also gives to the disciples when and I believe it's words each time with their calling. The first thing that the angel reminds them is that sometimes your location may not always match the calling and the vocation or the promise of God in your life, but that does not mean mudimu haubita. Because even for Abraham, when God meets Abraham, and we find this in chapter 15. And when we see God addressing them and the angel of God coming with the message, do not fear, it is a sign that where you are right now may not be where you need to be or where God wants you to be, but it is not outside of God's view and God's plan for your life. So, uskathaba. How bonekare maemo bophelo ba hao ha matla. Uskathaba. How bonekare lifu le re sheba ka nako tsohle le re kgahlanyetsa, or it's always in front of us. Do not fear. When life takes an unexpected turn, where you see a loved one hurting, or ubona babang bahlomuha kapa bahloriswa ke maemo a lefatshe, and you find yourself helpless, God says, do not fear in those moments, but trust in the character of God. You see, when God shows up in our lives, utla atlo ipontsha the true self, and to move away the veil of fear. Because sometimes from the reality of our time, because and we stop living. But when you face your wilderness moment, the call is to remember not to allow fear to make you flee from everything and run, but rather to face everything and rise, and to stand firm and allow God to show up in your midst. And the power to face everything comes in the character of God. And this character we see in God. Habua le agare ariki utwile morawa ha Allah make hubone ke lebone ke bone le matshwenyo alona. And this is quite important and interesting, because this is the second wilderness moment mo Modimo itlhaisang ho Hagar. In chapter 16, Hagar ntwa ha ya pele le Sarah etsahana. Hagar leaves abaleha aya lefeleng, and when she gets there, ukopana le Modimo, and Modimo sends her back and says, it is not safe for you as a pregnant woman to be here, but rather go and be submissive, because there's a plan that I have for you. But in the first wilderness moment space, we see Hagare ane Modimo lebitso le letjha areke Elroy, Modimo a bonang. And in the second wilderness moment, Modimo does not change character, even when the circumstances change around Hagar, but God does not change. We see God appearing, and God says to Hagar, allow me to say that when we face our wilderness moments with courage during this time, even in this dark time in our land, in this dark time of the virus, in the dark time of the killings, in the dark time of illness, in the dark time, God says to us during this time, I am a God. I hear your cry. I see your cry. But you see, this God is the same God who heard the cries of the Israelites. But we see in the story of Hagar and Ishmael and the story of Hagar and Sarah that it is the other way around, that a Hebrew, an Israelite, oppresses an Egyptian. And you would think Israel. And sometimes we always think when God calls us, it is because we are special and God favors us over everyone else. And I think Sarah forgot. Does not know limits of it, whether whatever ethnicity that we use to separate and show our ability to be better. At this time, God shows through Hagar that God is consistent in character. When someone is in pain, when someone is hurt, God becomes the one who stands on the side of those who are hurt and in pain. And maybe this time we see God reminding even our fathers and our male counterparts that during this time, Modimo at this time chooses those who are powerless and stands with the powerless. And God hears the cries and the prayers of women, children, and all those who are under oppression during this time. And when God hears their suffering, God responds and God speaks life. Allow me to say, because of this time, we find ourselves, whatever wilderness moment you are going through, remind yourself constantly and believe in the promise that and where you are right now, it is not outside of God's view, because God's eye is always on you. And Jesus, when he speaks to the disciples, ha bua le balatedi ba hae o re leihlo la Modimo le nako tsohle hodima dinyonyane tsa naha. Nahana wena o le motho a bopilweng ke yena, o tseba ka mokgwa o leng ka teng, o bopile. He knows even the number of hairs on your head. Even in this time, God knows everything within you. And the reminder is that Modimo ha shebe bokantle ba rona fela, empa o sheba le botebo ba dipelo tsa rona. So there might be a time where you're asking yourself, why is God not answering? Why are things not going my way? Remember though, that Modimo wa rona wa emelo. Empa ka nako tsohle ha bona a re utlwa, was arabela. And at that time, He will offer us a new life. And this is the new life that God offers for Hagar and for us during this time. That even when we find ourselves hopeless, Modimo wa tla a re tutubulle, so that our pain, our fear does not have the power ho re kwalla ho tla bona mosebetsi wa Modimo maphelong a rona. Re bona ka mokgo Modimo a tutubullang mahlo a Hagar. Mme Modimo a monka a re ho yena, nka mora wa hao, lead your son. And when you lead your son, umise sedibeng sa metsi. And here is the well. There are times when we do go through the wilderness time. More fetang haramathata amangata. More fetang mo kareng ho ke lefelle ha ona bophelo. But when we do so, when we go through these spaces, the call is for us. Listen to the voice of God. Allow God to open your eyes, because your own well of new life is before you. So maybe this time you're asking, where do I go? Re tla ja eng hosasa? Na bana baka ba tla kgona na ba tla tseba na ho ya sekolong, kapa ke tlo tsoa ke ya kae ke lo marketa kae? But at this time, God says to you, just face your wilderness with courage, because new life is coming. And the promise of new life is that you allow God to open your eyes. A sign of life, a sign of refreshment, but a sign of a new beginning and a new future. Because at times our hearts and our eyes become closed, because we don't want to see what looks like the end. And God says what may look like the end, beyond, there's a new beginning. And when we see, then the story ends. Ishmael becomes and has a family and grows and becomes a formidable person and someone who is respected in community, which is a sign that in God he had a future and God had a plan for him. And so for us this morning, our wilderness moments make us feel we're just helpless and in pain. And we see how this has happened from generation to generation. This morning, the story of Abraham, a father of our faith, becomes one not only then of pain, but also of courage. That when we go through wilderness moments, may we face the spaces with hope that God sees and God hears. But also, do not be afraid. Rather, face everything and rise. And how do you rise? Allow God hore a o tutubulle mahlo a hao, a o bontshe sediba sa metsi mo o tla fumanang metsi a matjha le bophelo bo botjha. It is my prayer that during this time we will find moments where we will then lead our young brothers, we will lead our brothers who may come from broken spaces. Allow God to lead them to the kosidibeng sa metsi a bophelo bo botjha, so that we may find healing as a nation, we may find healing as a people, but also in your own space. Whatever moment where you find yourself, at this time, just seek for God. And sometimes you'll find that that well is just next to you. It's because maybe you've lost sight of the future that God has for you. And we are called this morning that we reclaim our future in God. we reclaim the power to face even spaces of pain, spaces of helplessness, spaces of hopelessness. And we are told that there's nothing in your life that God cannot see, and God will respond. So how emela Modimo, mamela lentswe la hae, o latele where he leads you, so that you may be led to new life. May God lead us as a country to a new spring, a new well of water. Mo re tla fumanang tlhatso e ntjha, re fumane bophelo bo botjha jwale ka country. Modimo a be le rona, Modimo a hlolofatse lentswe la hae, Modimo a hlolofatse rona bohle ka nako ena. Amen. Let us pray. Re a leboha Morena Modimo, re a leboha Jesu Kriste, ha wena Modimo o ntso go bontsha hore wena o na le rona le ha re iphumana re le lefelleng. At this time, we thank you that you remind us that wilderness moments will not last forever. There are paths, but they are not our destination. We have a future in you. I pray, Lord God, that you be with each and every one of us in our different wilderness spaces we find ourselves. South Africa, with the racism, Lord God, that we see, with the killing of women, with the rape, Lord God, with the loss of jobs, with the sickness and illness in our communities. Kana kwena wa re hopotsa hore Modimo le ha ekare re bona ekare ra paretswe ke leru le letsho, wa re hopotsa hore we must look beyond the dark cloud, for there is a silver lining. We thank you, Lord, how re hopotsa to be hopeful even in times of hopelessness, to be courageous even in times when our fear takes over us. Hobane wena Modimo wa bona ibile wa re utlwa ha re bitsa ho wena. Utlwa dithapelo tsa rona ka nako ena Modimo, re rapella e mong le mong Modimo halelelang tshebeletsong ena, rapella setjhaba sa rona Modimo halelelang. And we ask, Lord God, o bone dikeledi tsa rona, o utlwe dithapelo tsa rona Modimo, mme jwale ka wena o bontshitse hore Modimo a bonang, Modimo a arabelang, a utlwang, hore arabe Kriste halelelang, and lead us le rona sedibeng sa metsi a phodileng, sedibeng Modimo halelelang, se monate se tla re nang bophelo Modimo bo tletseng bo tswang ho wena. Protect us, Lord God, during this time, that even in moments where we feel anxious, Modimo halelelang, when our own hearts take us to wilderness moment, kapa dipelo tsa rona di kenya ba bang lefelle, Modimo re tshwarele, me re bontshetse le ntjha ya ho phela Modimo halelelang, e re ka nako tsohle o re hodise ho tshabeng le ho tsebeng le ho sebeletseng Kriste halelelang. Kena tshebeletso ya hao e o dumetseng re kene ho yona, re leba lentswe la hao Modimo motle, e ka re le ka dula dipelong tsa rona jwale le ka o sa feleng. Amen. Re tla nakong ya rona ya menehelo mo re lebohang Modimo ka menehelo yohle e re nehetseng mosebetsing wa hae, our givings, our tithes and our offerings for the day, e leng mokgwa o re nehelang hore mosebetsi wa Modimo o tlo tswele pele. A re leboheng. Morena Modimo, re a leboha qhoboshiane ya maphelo a rona. Ha wena Modimo halelelang, you continue to provide in our lives. And at this time we come just to give thanks to you. Re khutsetsa tse tswang ho wena. Re leboha mehauhelo ya hao. Re leboha dintle tsa hao tsohle maphelong a rona. Mme ka nako ena Modimo re amohela menehelo ena as offerings of our love and gratitude to you. Mme o amohele le dithapelo Modimo tsa ba batlisa menehelo a bona ba kopa. Mme re kopa wena mookamedi ya renang ya tsebang tsohle tseo re di hlokang, o ba ne ka ho ya ka bo tseo ba se kopang, and according to your will and purpose for our lives. We thank you for your church, the Randburg Methodist Church, that through our giving, Lord God, we continue to serve others through Randburg Care. So we ask, Lord God, that o re hodise Modimo hallang, o atise mo batho ba hao ba nkileng teng, mme lentswe la hao ka nako tsohle le utlwahale ka rona mona lefatsheng, e seng fela ka mantswe empa le ka diketso tsa rona, as we use these gifts for the service of your people. We ask and pray all this in Christ Jesus' name. Amen. Re tlile pheletsong ya tshebeletso ya rona, e ka re Morena Modimo a ka ba le rona re hlonolofatse, a re tshireletse, mme kganya ha e retelle pele, jwale le ka hoseng kae. Amen. Alwaba ufefe lwenkosi yethu Jesu Kristu, uthando likaThixo babo, nobudlelwane bukaMoya Engcwele bube nathi sonke manje kude kube ngunaphakade. Amen. May you all have a blessed week and God bless you.